Actor and blogger Wil Wheaton has several cult classic roles under his belt, and now he can add best-selling author to the list of his accomplishments. Wheaton recently released an updated version of his memoir, and this week, Still Just a Geek hit #9 on New York Times best-selling nonfiction list. Our own Linsey Davis talked with Wheaton about his career, why he revisited and revised his memoir, and what life is like as a geek in Hollywood.
Actor, blogger, and self-described all-around nerd, you may know Wil Wheaton as Wesley Crusher from Star Trek: The Next Generation, as Sheldon Cooper's arch-rival in The Big Bang Theory, or from films like Stand By Me, Toy Soldiers, and Flubber. Wheaton is getting a do-over, recently releasing an updated version of his 2004 memoir, this one called Still Just a Geek, an annotated memoir, composed of blog posts, new material, and annotations from Wil himself. Wil, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So some of the material in your book was originally written for your blog, a daily diary that you published on your site. Why revisit? What made you decide to revise essentially what you wrote back then and commentate on it now?
It actually was not my idea. The idea originated with my editor, David Pomerico at Harper. He was looking at a novel that I pitched, and nobody in publishing was particularly interested in it. It wasn't really ready to be published just yet. And he said, listen, I looked at this and I remembered that I liked you as a writer. I remembered how much I loved Just a Geek when it came out in 2004. And I wondered if you would look at it again and talk about how you are a different person now than you were then, if you would be interested in like kind of revisiting almost 30-year-old you as almost 50-year-old you to see how things have changed.
And you talk about how you wanted to revisit how things have changed. When you look at it now, how have things changed?
I think that the world has changed significantly, and also I have. Like, when I was in my 20s, I didn't recognize at all how massively privileged I was, and I didn't understand that someone could be as privileged as I am, have all of the things I can't control, like my gender and my race and all of those things. Like, all of those things are all kind of like set up to really benefit me and make my life easier. But I also had lived a life that was extraordinarily painful and defined by abuse. And I didn't understand that both of those things could be true at the same time. And it helped me learn how to not be a victim and how to be an advocate.
An evolution that you're actually able to revisit and document. And you also talk about blogs, how they've really fizzled out. But about 2 decades ago, they transformed your opinions and views. How did writing blogs actually change your life?
My entire life, I did not know who I was as a person. I was always telling somebody else's story. I was always telling, I was reaffirming what I was told people needed to know about me. I had to participate in the fiction my parents had created. I started my blog because I finally had an opportunity to speak for myself without publicists, and eventually grows into me being able to use the skills of communication that I've developed over the course of my life to hopefully give voice to things that are generally silenced.
And you grew up, obviously, as you've talked about even here, in the public eye, being released from your Star Trek contract at just 18 years old. You write, I'm almost 49, and when I think about that 18-year-old, I just want to hug him and tell him that it's not his fault. How would you say that Hollywood impacted who you are today, especially working on a cult classic like Star Trek?
Well, the thing that I never would have expected, that I didn't fully recognize until relatively recently, is that being part of Star Trek gave me a family. The cast of Star Trek loved me and loves me unconditionally. When I need a mom or a dad, I can reach out to any of them and they are always there. They show up for me and they always have. And being part of Star Trek gave me that. I would not have had that otherwise. That was never going to come out of the house that I was raised in. I don't think that it's appropriate to blame Hollywood or the industry for that. The capital H Hollywood absolutely benefits in a lot of ways from child exploitation, but it is 100% the parents of these children who are putting them to work.
And you reflect a lot on the personal struggles that you had, from the family problems, your career, your journey with depression. What made you decide that you wanted to revisit and kind of sit in these moments?
reliving, reimagining, re-experiencing the things that were so traumatic and so painful allows me to understand none of this stuff was because of me. And now I, as a nearly 50-year-old husband and father and voice in my community, I can be there for the child I was in a way that nobody else ever was.
Well, Wil, we thank you so much for sharing. I just have to ask this silly question in the last 30 seconds. So what's going on your, is that your bookshelf? Is it color coded by category, or are they books? Are they games? What's going on back there?
All these behind me this is about half of my board game collection. The other half's off camera. And when it came time to put them up on the shelves, I could have done them in any way that I wanted. I could have categorized them anyway. And my friend Bonnie does all of her books by color. And I thought, that's amazing. I'm going to build a big, beautiful color palette in my room. And that's how my games are going to live. So I do this because it pleases me.
All right, Wil, very interesting. Great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And to our viewers, you can purchase Still Just a Geek, an annotated memoir, wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.